You know, there's a few things you can do for your first fish on ice to really ensure success. And if you're anything like me, you hit the hard water for the first time, you've been out in the boat using long rods, and all of a sudden we're using short sticks, we're fishing vertically when we weren't before, lures we haven't used in an entire season, and you gotta knock the rust off. I am a little bit of a greenhorn every time I hit the hard water the first time of the year. So 3 things you can do to really ensure that you're gonna slide into the season strong and actually correcting mistakes that I've made myself. The first one being setting my drag correctly. I can't tell you how many times the first fish of the year, first time I've used that rod for the season, I go ahead and swing, and maybe I've got my drag way too loose and it just zings, and I completely miss the fish, right? Happens to the best of us. Make sure the first time you're out on the ice, you get all your drags set in, you kind of get your tightness exactly where you want it for the species and the presentation at hand. That's tip number 1. You know, a second tip would also involve the reel, but more importantly, what's on the reel. And your line is, you've heard it before, one of the cheapest investments in your fishing that you can make that's also really important. And when it comes to ice, I couldn't agree more. Spool up with brand new line every season. It's gonna be way cheaper than even the gas money it takes you to get out to the lake. And you're gonna want to have that line free of kinks. You don't want it to have coils in it. Sometimes after you spool on new line, it's a little bit kinked up, it's a little bit coiled up. Go ahead and let some of that line off the reel. Maybe you walk 50 yards out on the ice, kind of pull that line taut and reel it back towards you, just making sure the line is seated well on the reel. You're using brand new fresh line. That's going to ensure success right off the bat. Now, number 3, the temptation is, you've been excited for ice, you've been collecting lures. If you're anything like me, you've got boxes full of them. Don't take your whole kit of tackle out onto the ice with you. Instead, figure out what species you're fishing for. In this case, I'm fishing bluegills and crappies. Keep it super simple and open up a box that's really small and has just a basic assortment of what you need. I see so many people fight with their gear early ice, mostly on account of the fact that they brought way too much of it. So there you have it, 3 tips. Number 1, make sure that you've got your drag set on your reel proper and appropriate for the species and the presentation at hand. Number 2, use fresh line. Make sure that it's seated well on the reel, it's free of coils, free of kinks. And 3, don't bring too much tackle with you out on the ice. Just get some of the bare essentials, the things that you're gonna need to catch the species at hand. And if you do those 3 things, I promise your first ice experience is gonna be so much better. You'll catch more fish and have more fun doing it.